The Council of Europe Convention on Preventing and Combating Violence Against Women and Domestic Violence, better known as the Istanbul Convention, is a human rights treaty of the Council of Europe against violence against women and domestic violence, which was opened for signature on the 11th of May 2011. In Istanbul, Turkey, the convention aims at prevention of violence, victim protection and to end the impunity of perpetrators. As of March 2019, it has been signed by 45 countries in the European Union. On the 12th of March 2012, Turkey became the first country to ratify the convention, followed by 33 other countries from 2013 to 2019. The convention came into force on the 1st of August 2014. On the 20th of March 2021, Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced Turkey's withdrawal from the treaty with a presidential decree. The Council of Europe has undertaken a series of initiatives to promote the protection of women against violence since the 1990s. In particular, these initiatives have resulted in the adoption, in 2002, of the Council of Europe Recommendation Reg 5 of the Committee of Ministers to Member States on the Protection of Women Against Violence, and the running of a Europe-wide campaign, from 2006 to 2008, to combat violence against women, including domestic violence. The Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe has also taken a firm political stance against all forms of violence against women. It has adopted a number of resolutions and recommendations calling for legally binding standards on preventing, protecting against and prosecuting the most severe and widespread forms of gender-based violence. National reports, studies and surveys revealed the magnitude of the problem in Europe. The campaign in particular showed a large variation in Europe of national responses to violence against women and domestic violence. Thus, the need for harmonized legal standards to ensure that victims benefit from the same level of protection everywhere in Europe became apparent. The Ministers of Justice of Council of Europe member states began discussing the need to step up protection from domestic violence, in particular intimate partner violence. The Council of Europe decided it was necessary to set comprehensive standards to prevent and combat violence against women and domestic violence. In December 2008, the Committee of Ministers set up an expert group mandated to prepare a draft convention in this field. Over the course of just over 2 years, this group, called the CAHVIO, developed a draft text. During the later stage of drafting of the convention, UK, Italy, Russia, and the Holy See proposed several amendments to limit the requirements provided by the convention. These amendments were criticized by Amnesty International. The final draft of the convention was produced in December 2010. The Istanbul Convention is the first legally binding instrument which creates a comprehensive legal framework and approach to combat violence against women, and is focused on preventing domestic violence, protecting victims and prosecuting accused offenders. It characterizes violence against women as a violation of human rights and a form of discrimination. Countries should exercise due diligence when preventing violence, protecting victims and prosecuting perpetrators. Stalking, forced marriage. The convention states that sexual harassment must be subject to criminal or other legal sanction. The convention also includes an article targeting crimes committed in the name of so-called honor. The convention contains 81 articles separated into 12 chapters. Its structure follows the structure of the Council of Europe's most recent conventions. The structure of the instrument is based on the 4 petaseconds: prevention, protection and support of victims, prosecution of offenders and integrated policies. Each area foresees a series of specific measures. The convention also establishes obligations in relation to the collection of data and supporting research in the field of violence against women. The preamble recalls the European Convention on Human Rights, European Social Charter and Convention on Action Against Trafficking in Human Beings, as well as international human rights treaties by United Nations and Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. In Article 2, this convention indicates that the provisions shall apply in time of peace and also in situations of armed conflicts in violence against women and domestic violence. Article 3 defines key terms. Article 4 prohibits several types of discrimination, stating the implementation of the provisions of this convention by the parties, in particular measure to protect the rights of victims, shall be secured without discrimination on any ground such as sex, gender, race, color, language, political or other opinion, national or social origin, association with a national minority, property, birth, sexual orientation, gender identity, age, state of health, disability, marital status, migrant or refugee, street,